What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Beanball podcast. This is episode 64. We are your hosts, Alan and welcome to September Baseball.
Hey, buddy. What a September it should be, man.
God.
I think I heard today that the Red Sox locked it up. Or, I'm sorry,
No,
Tampa
Bay did with who lost, but we'll go into that later on. But, you know, it's interesting, you know, every day you hear about someone new.
Yeah.
And then one of the big teams that we thought would be in the thick of it has just fell from grace, and it started more on this weekend.
Yeah, let's just go into it, man. So right now we're worried about San Diego Padres. Slam Diego's kind of falling apart.
Man,
their last 10, they're 2-8, man.
So since August 11th, they have been only 10-25.
Yeah, that's not good.
They are now 5 games behind St. Louis in the second wild card spot. And if you do follow baseball, I'm pretty sure you all have seen the video of Machado and Tatis on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Boiling over, you know, man, like, whew.
So what do you think is going on?
I think they're just disappointed, you know, after the 13-year playoff drought broken last year. You know, certain stuff people were like, it's more so Machado's over it, like, it's not about you. Like,
right.
They're just frustrated. They both spoke to the media on Tuesday after the fact, you know, confront them. They said, Machado said, we handle it internally. We've got a team that we're trying to compete and get to the World Series. We haven't been playing great baseball, so emotions got involved. And then Tatis said, it's part of baseball. It's part of the game. It's part of what this game brings out, especially when good players are trying to win and stuff's not getting our way. At the end of the day, I'm glad it happened. I feel like it makes us stronger. You got to go inside and talk about it, analyze it, and just come together.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what needs to happen.
But it's more so has been injuries, the pitching. Like, you added Blake Snell and Yu Darvish, and your best pitcher's been Joe Musgrove from the Pirates, which he was a third option after the fact of getting these two guys. If he's your best pitcher, that's an issue, especially Snell coming off his playoff, and then, you know, Darvish coming up runner-up in the Cy Young last year. You expect more out of them, and that's why they let go of the pitching coach.
Well, they're also parting ways with their
the hitting coach they part ways with,
and they're getting rid of the guy. I'm sorry, who's the farm director. So the minor league stuff too. I mean, they're just doing a lot.
Their
of
minor
things.
league has been some of the best. Is why they got all those players, because they've had such a great minor league system.
But they also said they expect more changes as they're sliding out of contention.
Yes.
So do we think they have a chance?
No,
you don't think so?
I think with 5 left and how hot the Cardinals have been. Like, you're talking about your 5 games now, and I think they're playing the Giants, which Giants are arguably the best team in baseball. Yes, they only got, I think, a half-game lead over the Dodgers right now. But honestly, I think Padres season's over. I honestly think for wild card, you're looking at Phillies. I think the closest one, I believe, and maybe if there's one other team, the Reds. I honestly think, like the Mets, I think we're 8 out.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Yeah, man.
It's hard, you know, looking at the wild card, and then this you thought, like, especially they're way above 500. They're a couple games above 500, but it's just how bad they've been. It's like, it's unfortunate, especially how San Diego, especially the start of the year they're having. Then the Tatis injuries, pitching went down, and then it just, like, they had to hide the season with a no-hitter. Tatis doing his thing, and then, like, All-Star break, it just started to go down a little bit, and then since August, it's just plummeted.
Yeah, man. It looks like they've lost 4 straight. They are in the series with the Giants right now, but then they got to face the Braves, then the Dodgers, and then back to the Giants. Those are tough teams.
Yeah.
All of them are tough teams. So,
they're all playoff teams right now.
Exactly. So, yeah, man, it's going to be tough for them to get into it.
I don't see it happening.
Right.
They would have to go perfect and hope for
a lot that has to happen, yeah.
Cardinals to drop it. Even though, you know, they've been hot lately, they might just hit that stride now, or they might not put foot on throttle, but you need like a collapse miracle the last 2 weeks now.
Okay.
So I guess we all say like they're pretty much it's over with. It's like, so what's next for them? You said that there's possibly more stuff coming. So you think the GM, you don't think there's many front office positions probably going to be let go, since, you know, he was just locked up last year after in the playoff drought through 2026. So I doubt they're going to fire him after 1 year with looking at the injuries and performances. So the biggest thing is going to be the manager. The manager was taken on a chance 2 years ago. He has never been a pro player. They just took a win on him. He did good last year, but maybe it's all starting to add up now for them in San Diego.
Yeah, that's true. So what's next for them? I'm not exactly sure. Like you said, they're
not going to get rid of Machado and
do some
Tatis.
personnel changes.
And then you look at the teams.
But that's what I'm saying. When I look at the team, I like the team, so I just feel like they need to get healthy. You got to have Blake Snell back, maybe find another pitcher to put in a rotation.
Clevenger should be back next year because he'll be coming up from the Tommy John.
Exactly.
So you still have everyone under contract next year. You're just adding Clevenger, so you're adding. So hopefully everyone can bounce back. You have a new manager most likely. So the biggest question mark is the players who haven't been consistent, and the biggest person is Eric Hosner. He's still owed $60 million through 2025, and then Myers, who's guaranteed $23 million deal for next year. You get that money off the books, you're going to have to throw some prospects to possibly sign someone or trade for someone to fill their positions. That's a possibility you can see maybe this offseason. And then I guess their one big hope they can try to do is convince Scherzer to come there.
I don't think that's going to happen.
He's a free agent.
Yeah,
they could throw some stupid money at him. Maybe
it depends on how many years in a row the Dodgers win the World Series. But Max, if anything, has proved that he's still got it.
Yep.
And he's still worth a lot. So you're right. If a team like San Diego thinks that they could use a veteran like Scherzer just to piece it together.
If you think about it, you look at now Trevor Bauer's contract from last year.
Yeah.
If you look at look, we have a 2-3 year window.
Right.
Scherzer, we'll give you $120 million for 3 years. That might do it.
It might. I mean, because
he's 37.
That's what I'm saying. That'd be enough. I mean, right there.
That's ridiculous. Now think about it. 3 years, 120. When I think his previous deal with the Nationals, I think it was 2-something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
crazy for 6 years. It's insane. So we'll see what they do. His biggest thing is Black Monday after the season ends. What happens?
Yeah.
So.
Well, either way, he's in a good spot. He doesn't have nothing to worry about.
No.
Padres do. I think the Padres are in an okay position. They just need to add a couple more pieces and solidify consistency. That's it. That's all.
They need consistent play. They have some players. They need consistent from their pitching rotation, which we all thought top 5, and they are nowhere near it this year.
Right. But I mean, based on what we've seen, though, they could compete if everything's running like it should. But it's not right now. But I'm just saying, I'm not concerned with where they're going. Not like I am with some other teams, but I think the Padres are in a decent position. I don't think they need to make too many changes, so I hope they don't go in and just open up shop and just everybody's got to go because that's not the issue.
It's not a full rebuild.
That's what I'm saying.
You're thinking of smart moves, prospects is going to cost you to get rid of money to sign players or find that team that's willing to unload and start rebuilding. But then the biggest question mark is teams going to willing to do that if the new CBA gets approved with this minimum salary that a team's got to have.
Yeah.
So that's going to make it interesting too this all season because you think that needs to be completed before players get signed and stuff. So that's going to be the biggest question marks this off season before going into who you're going to add and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
All right. Well, with that being said, we have another team that's pretty much out of it, and it is our Mets.
Man.
It looks like the season's over for us.
Yeah.
What's next?
So, there's small hope, which we can pretty much say it's a 0.5% chance if we win out the rest of the games, which right now we're losing 7-1 now. My phone just went off.
Yeah, I mean, if we would have called it an all-star break, I think it would have been in good contention, but something happened after that where we just didn't show up. The second half of the season, it was kind of a downhill stretch.
Went down.
That was a big part of it.
Lindor went down for a little bit.
But look.
It just started adding up.
As Mets fans, we know we've been through the ups and downs. We've been through the 07s, 08s, and stuff like that. I am okay with where our team is right now because, I expect us to be contenders, but I wasn't saying we're going to change overnight.
No.
But the team, the way it is now, with all the additions we've had, and everybody, if they're healthy next season, that's our thing. Health is always an issue. But if we can stay kind of healthy, I think we got a good shot. I love the middle infield. You can't get better than that.
Yeah.
Our pitching is solid when they're healthy. Think about it. We get Thor and DeGrom back. If McNeil, if Conforto, all those guys stay healthy, Dominic Smith, everybody stays healthy, we can crush.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, man. I think the team is a competitor. It just needs to be healthy.
It's unfortunate, especially that stretch when we talked about the Dodgers and Giants, that 2-week stretch. how many of those games we lost to them was one run? That's how close the good team with the pitching and the offense are, that we are close teams. We're not quite there, which I'll put together this year. But remember, Steve wants to win a World Series in 3 to 5 years. So this is going to be 1 year down. Now you have 2 to 4 years to get that title.
And I think we're there. I honestly think the team, like when I look at the roster, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I really like our team. Everybody from Pete to Javier Baez, Villar, Lindor.
They made some smart moves.
They're good.
Unfortunately, some stuff didn't work out.
Right, which is to be expected.
Yeah. So I guess going into the offseason, the biggest thing is hiring the president of baseball and, of course, the GM. And then it's getting thrown around, and the biggest name, as people are saying, and I completely agree with, is Billy Bean.
Yeah. Well, that'd be great and all, but, Billy doesn't have to crunch any numbers or anything like that. So I'm saying, like, the team's there, man.
Yeah.
So what are you going to add to it?
So, the right package deal for the A's, executive vice president of operations and is, named not Theo Espin, but Billy Bean, this would be a full circle for him, being drafted by the Mets in 1980, being a first-round pick that didn't pan out, to now working, which, it all lines up because Sandy Anderson is the one that gave Billy Bean the scouting job. Got him into the door. So it was his mentor.
So what a story, right?
And then apparently him and Steve Cohen are good friends because Billy came out and talked at his firm, and they became close. So it's lined up, and then people are close to Billy that he's actually willing to go to the Mets and fix the Mets. Because think about it. Oakland, you're talking about relocating the team.
Right.
To Vegas and the money. Not having money. Like, think about Simeon went to the Blue Jays. They couldn't offer him a qualifying offer. They offered him $12 million because that's probably all they could offer. And he went and signed for that 1 year and is crushing in Blue Jays. Now he's going to get a multi-year deal this year. So it's like, what could you done if you had a little extra money? That's almost certain that Mets could do. You couldn't bring a championship as a player because your playing career didn't pan out. Right. But how full circle if you bring a World Series title to the team that drafted you, but as a front office baseball operator?
Yeah, man, that would be pretty cool. And I think he'd be great at it, like you said. There are a couple other candidates: the Brewers president David Stearns, and then Theo Epstein of the Cubs. But like you said, Billy Bean, what an interesting thing it would be because he would have a better market. He has a good pool of talent already there, and he has funds that he can mess around with to see what he can create. And he's known to be a disruptor, so an innovator. So that's one of the reasons that Cohen likes this idea, and I think it'd be cool too. Like I said, I'm not worried where our team is. No. I'm okay with this disappointing season because I can see the good in this season, what was coming out of it. And when everybody gets to practice together in the off season and come together as a team next season, I think they're going to be clicking on all cylinders, man, and it's going to be good. Yeah, so it's going to be good baseball.
So let's say they bring Billy Bean in. So then you're thinking he's going to bring his people in.
Yeah.
So you almost think manager's gone. Now the option is he brings his manager from Oakland over. They like each other. He's technically in an option year with Oakland.
Yeah.
So he could easily bring him over to fill in the manager position.
I don't have anything wrong with that.
So, they've been together for 11 years and, why not bring him? Look what he's done with that Oakland A roster and managing, playoffs almost every year. You feel like, they're competing. I think they're like 2 games out right now, but you think about with the roster and ability with them, and then you go to general manager. Yes, you can bring his general manager, but most likely if Billy walks, he's probably going to be promoted to baseball operations. So then you look at your vice GM, which I thought it could be a possible candidate, is Billy Owens. He's been the assistant GM there in Oakland. He can probably get promoted. But also the A's GM, David Foster, was interested in the Mets job last season. Okay. But then also the people that you kind of heard rumors about last year for the GM position, Michael Hill, the former president of baseball with the Marlins, John Redler, who's the Mets senior vice president right now, and then Bobby Heck, Tampa Bay Rays special assistant to the GM. Those names are coming up. So it's going to be interesting all season. You think that, the A's, with Billy having the 27th, what is it, payroll compared to the top 10 with the Mets. You just wondering, what could he do with the responsibilities?
What could he do?
Yeah.
I We'll see what happens, man. I'm not sure what the
Yeah.
future holds, but what I do know is it does look bright for Mets. So,
Yeah.
Mets fans, don't be discouraged about this season. There's a lot of good things I've seen, a lot of potential. Just hopefully we can capitalize on it and not go backwards.
Yeah. So the next thing with Mets, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 free agents to be. That's walking away after the season, possibly.
Was that just that many?
Yep.
I got a lot of other people up here, but
I guess some like minor level.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. So what do we got?
So we got Marcus Stroman, which is he took the 1 year deal, for 18 million to prove
18.9.
himself
Yep.
after not playing last year. You
And
got Conforto after his rookie year is finally done. Baez is done. Brad Hand, which we trade for. Del Martinez, who's been injured. Familia comes off the books. Syndergaard is technically rookie year is over. Jonathan Villar was on 1 year deal. Kevin Pillar was a 1 year deal, and then Aaron Loop.
Then we got Rich Hill. We picked up
Yeah.
recently. He'll be a free agent technically, but he's only and some other guys like you said. But let's start with like Rich Hill. Like I said, the guy we just recently kind of picked up, and he does have
an innings eater for us for the rest of the year.
right. And I wouldn't mind picking him back up, but he is kind of old, man. He's like 42 years old, dude. So it might not be enough for him, but he was cheap, $2.5 million.
Yeah.
And then like you said, the person I think we need to get rid of. I don't need to tell you, but Familia.
Yeah.
This man's getting paid $11,666,000. Of
Yeah.
course, that number's in there. 668. Got to get rid of him.
Yeah.
He's not worth it. He really isn't. I don't care.
So,
I don't care what he does the rest of the season.
Off of this
he's got to
list,
go.
I think Del Martinez leaves unless it's a cheap deal next year.
We can make up for pitching. I'm
So,
okay with that.
He can be a cheap deal if he wants to try to rehab. He really hasn't pitched in almost 2 years between the injuries.
Right.
So
Maybe if he restructures the deal and comes on for like almost nothing.
Brad Hand, we'll see how I actually feel because he didn't want to come to us.
Right.
And ended up coming to us between waiver claims.
The reason I like him though is because he's a lefty and we need more of that.
Which I loved him trying to get him, but he wanted to close more. So maybe he realized maybe he's not closing no more.
He's not in a position for that.
So maybe he'll bring back.
Stroman, I want to bring back.
Stroman, I think it's time to do it. I think he proved himself. He's been the best pitcher.
He sure has. He's stepped up.
32.
30.
He's only did 30 games. Well,
I
guess,
thought you were talking about age. I would say he's only 30.
He's in 32 games this year.
Okay.
You're thinking about at least 2 more starts. So he had 34 starts this year.
And he's produced.
He's
produced good
a
enough.
sub 3 ERA.
He's definitely a top 3 in our rotation if we can get him back. I mean,
so I think that's number one priority.
That's your number one priority. My number one priority is Conforto.
Conforto is, I don't know, man.
I hear you. It's a health thing. If he stays healthy.
It's a health thing, and the biggest thing is what other teams will go after him and what's the dollar amount.
Oh, well, when you break it down like that, I'm saying player-wise, I like to keep him.
Yeah.
But if it comes down to the money, he might be pricey.
Okay, now this is the biggest thing. Would you, if you only can sign one of the players, would you want Conforto or Baez?
That's a tough one. Probably Baez because it's very hard to get an elite shortstop.
Which he'd be most likely second baseman.
But my heart would
and
say
his bat,
Conforto.
too.
My heart says Conforto,
Yeah.
but it's a lot easier to get a new outfielder.
Yes.
Like I said, I keep bringing this example up, but it's because I've seen it firsthand. Christian Walker.
Yeah.
He could put up 40 home runs a year, and he was a guy sitting in minors. You can find an outfielder.
Yeah.
It's very hard to find the best player on the field. It's shortstop.
It's just very curious what Scott Boras is going to make Michael Conforto because, he did have a bad year on a contract year. It'd be interesting. Does he take the qualifying offer? Maybe if they offer it to him, just get that draft pick possibly, and he takes it.
It depends on the offers he's going to get in.
Yeah,
but that would be an enticing move.
But the funny thing is that qualifying offer is before you get any offers, unless Scott kind of calls and get a feel for it.
Well, that's what I'm hoping he does,
and be like, look, man, you might want to take this deal to prove yourself one more year.
Right. So we'll know real quick because either he takes that deal right away, like you said, but if he's sitting on it, he might have other things in coming in. But like I said, you're right. I think the priority is Baez just because of the talent and how hard it is to replace him.
Baez has joined the Mets, he is batting over 300. Defense has been there. Like, he's not him the beginning of the year self that he was the Cubs.
And he's got his buddy too. I mean, that when you got somebody you click with right away, like that important.
And with the rumor of him saying that he would take a pay cut to play with his best friend.
That's what I'm saying. Think about it, Alan. This could be the best middle infield we've seen ever. It could be. I mean, if we just got to keep these guys together.
So the biggest question mark is going to be the many years and the dollar amount that he's willing to take a pay cut.
I agree.
To do. Brad Hand, I'd be interested in. Syndergaard, I feel like it's going to be a qualifying offer thing.
Yep.
he'll take it to prove himself so he can pitch 1 year.
You know,
Jonathan Villar, I think we need to resign.
Well,
he was a great off the bench bat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The two guys that are
And
on
Kevin.
here that are undervalued, I think, and I like them a lot, is both those guys,
Yeah.
Jonathan Villar and Kevin Pillar. Those guys are like the heart. Man, they step up when they need to. They're willing to fill the roles and be the player that we need them to be.
And
so
then
I like
Aaron Loop, you can give Familia money to him because how well he's been this year.
Absolutely.
Out the bullpen.
Oh my gosh, man!
Because he's literally is the 8th inning guy.
Familia's getting 3 times the amount of this guy, and Familia's trash.
Yes.
You heard it here first. You probably haven't, but Familia is garbaggio, straight dumpster juice. You don't got to ask me twice. I don't know
Ever
why we
since
brought
the
it
World
back.
Series,
I can't.
Allen has been not team Familia.
The PTSD, man. Like, I cannot yell at him enough. All right,
I'll give him a second chance and then hurt him again. So Alan was
never
over it.
again. Familia's forever
So,
off. Familia's like that one guy that we thought was gonna be really hyped up and he got suspended for PEDs and he's never been back. Who was that? He was our pitcher a couple years back.
Oh,
He was hyped up too, man.
Jerry
Mejia.
Yeah,
Because the 7 line even had like his shirts and stuff
because
going.
he had stop after closing and he had such a bright future. In
Yeah,
PEDs.
Familia can follow him, man, to
God.
the unemployment line.
Man. So we'll see.
So-
I hope our Mets do well. Have a great offseason.
Let's recap though. So your top priority has to be Javier Baez, right?
Yes.
And then if you had to put
between Baez and Stroman, I think they're kind of almost equal.
So in your opinion, Baez is the first priority. Stroman has to be number 2.
Yes.
We need our pitching, so I agree with that. And then where do you go from there? You Syndergaard or
Syndergaard, I feel like it's going to be before anything because he'll take the qualifying offer. Conforto's going to be that question mark. Does he take the qualifying offer? Because, you're talking about almost $20 million for one season, which you might not get that because you've had down years the last couple of years.
And
I think it makes sense for him to take qualifying offer if he gets offered it.
And if we want the other guys on up here, I
And
think
then-
it'd be easy to get them back.
Yeah.
Like I even think Brad Hand or Kevin
All
and
of
Jonathan.
them,
I think they
besides,
have.
Dellin is going to be a minor league deal. I feel like if I was a GM to try to see if he can make something of himself.
Yeah.
With of course roster bonuses if he can make it and then Loop is definitely getting a pay raise after what he did this year. Same thing with Villar and Pilar.
Right. I would just be very sad if we did lose Conforto, but I get it. It's baseball. I understand it's a business, and I understand the priorities that we as a team need to focus on. And like you said, I think Javier Baez is our number 1 priority.
Yeah, he
Has
proved
to
it
be.
because everyone was question mark how bad a season he was having when he got traded.
But when you're having fun, everything else falls in line.
It got loose, and then the pictures of like bringing his son on the field to watch the fireworks and stuff, and the story of him bringing a Puerto Rican family to come watch him play that was hit, I think by the hurricane or something. It was just stuff like that. It's like, and he's with his friend. They're having fun. He's making a couple little plays, but remember, he's not a second baseman. The more he plays and get used to it, he's going to get better. So I really think Baez and Stroman would be my number 1, number 2, don't matter which way you do it, priorities this offseason. So
Yeah, man. Speaking of bringing on like fans and things like that, something cool that happened this week that you don't normally see very often, man. Mookie Betts.
Oh yes,
He so a Reds rookie, I'm not sure his name, Ian something, I think.
Yeah.
He hit a home run as his first major league or hit.
Yeah.
And Mookie on the other team went up to found the fan who caught the ball and it's like, hey man, can I have that ball? I got you. And he gave him the ball so he can give it to the guy. Say, hey man, here's your ball for your first hit. And then he traded the guy who caught it autographed baseball bat by Mookie. Man, what a cool thing to do. I mean, who does that? That's awesome.
Usually
So-
after the game, like you want to meet the player and stuff. So I'm wondering if maybe they'll set something up where he end up does meeting them. But the thing that the opposite team did that for them,
Yeah.
I think that was the cool part.
Yeah, and it was
Because usually like security comes down to you, hey, they want to.
well, and it was a home game too for the Reds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
like,
Mookie was like, "Hey man, I got you."
Yeah.
So, anyways, that
'Cause I
was,
think the guy that he was with had a Dodger jersey on, so
okay.
maybe he's like, "Look, man, don't be like."
well, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a rookie? Well, I don't know how hyped up this guy was. I don't really even know his name, so he must not be that super hyped. But I'm saying, would you rather have the rookie's home run first ball or Mookie Betts?
I'll take Mookie, but
from
like,
his
and,
hand.
I still wouldn't mind meeting the other
Yeah,
guy.
absolutely.
Like, look, I caught your home run. I'm glad you got it.
Maybe get a ball that's
Ball sign
autographed
from him, like.
first home run or whatever.
But still, the story of I traded another guy's ball for a Mookie Betts signed bat.
by Mookie.
Yeah.
Mookie came to me and wanted to trade me a bat. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, I would be super hyped by that.
Yeah.
So that was a cool thing.
So-
all right, well, let's move on.
Let's go into some drama.
Yeah, look.
which has gone into today before I came over here. So,
So it looks like the Blue Jays are upset with the Rays
Yeah.
because they seem to have grabbed a data card.
so Kevin Killmeyer grabbed the Toronto Blue Jays data card, shaken loose from the catcher's wristband. And when the Tampa Bay Rays were later laughed off the request to return the sheet, the incident occurred at the bottom of the 6th inning Monday. 6-4 Rays win. Another element of intriguing rivalry between these AL East clubs. Several Blue Jays declined to discuss the matter, while the Rays general manager deferred the comment, saying he's just learned about the actions and is heading towards the clubhouse to get a better understanding of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Kevin Cash later said address the clubhouse to chat with the Blue Jays counterpart, asked about the matter captured on the video. Kilmar said he didn't realize it was a Blue Jays card. He never even looked at it, he said, but at the same time, I'm not going to drop it and hand it back.
So, when you say it like that, okay, I understand. Like, look, these guys have an advantage. I'm going to take their advantage away from them. I'm not going to use it for our advantage, but, at the same time, don't you think they could just print another one of these out? Because they should know. Even the players, when they picked it, they know, hey, these are the scouts say this about us.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what they say.
Close,
it's just a reference.
It's just what they're like more saying, like, okay, look, they say I chased them over this. Okay, let me not do that this time.
Exactly. So, yes, if they did look at that and they say, well, this is what these guys think about us, so let's focus on that, it kind of comes out kind of bad. I mean, it's a little cheating-esque. I would be upset, I think.
Yeah, I see who upset. He said he thought maybe it was his card because the same card is in the back pockets for fielding positions for certain players, so he didn't think nothing of it. He handed it to, I think they looked at it in the video, he handed it to the clubhouse manager, but who knows what did after
Exactly.
that. So while this is not like the Astros sign stealing scandal, it's
something.
It's kind of raised discussion where the edge of the game says if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Right. Right, and we don't know if they were cheating or not, but we could always assume that they were. It's kind of petty to me because, like I said, if the other team, everybody knows the scouting report on everybody, so it's not that big of an advantage. And if this is something that the team brought to have, for the game, you should be a sport, just like, hey man, you dropped this instead of like, oh, I'm going to hide this from you. It's just kind of petty. You know what I'm saying?
It is petty.
Like what? It's just you might just pick it up and just rip it up and say, ha 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 ha. How petty does that sound? Like, I just don't think it was necessary. They don't need to be super upset about this. You said, they said it's water under the bridge, and that's basically what it should be.
It should be, and then because you think about they could face in playoffs if Blue Jays make the playoffs.
Somebody's going to get plucked.
Win the wild card round. They could go against the Rays most likely because the Rays do have them one record.
Yeah,
but someone did get plucked. Kevin Killmeyer got plucked.
Of course he did.
Today's game, and of course benches got cleared.
Of course. So that was
today's game.
So that's the revenge. You should have expected it to happen. That's baseball. That's number one.
So I guess Kevin didn't play yesterday. So I guess since that Monday, I'm like, what, they let a day for it to bowl over? Then he must have played today.
Did he come up there in full armor? Because he should have known he's getting
I got the
plucked.
location like bench is clear. I'm like, Kevin. I was like, oh, Shadow, exactly what this is about.
So you're saying Kevin came up there and he got beanballed.
Yep. He got plucked and benches got cleared.
But it's to be expected.
Yeah.
I think, it is what it is.
Of course, Kevin Cash was not happy.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, your guy did something.
I'm
they
pretty
did
sure
something
both
about
benches
it.
got warned. So
I don't think it's nothing too big to worry about, man. It's kind of petty. Like I said, I don't know what to call it. It's not a big deal to me. I get it, but
it isn't. But it's funny that it's like, well, here we go. We're right in the thick of this.
And you got to start drama, man. Especially in their division drama. It's not baseball without it.
Yeah,
you got to have it. All right, so that's good, man. Let's.
So, I didn't go to the Major League Baseball games this year, neither did you, but the costs have gone up this year.
Well, you know why?
Well, yeah, they
COVID.
Lost so much money last year. So, the cost of the family of 4 to Major League Baseball games in 2021 increased modestly over last year's fanless pandemic scene with a few analysts of base ballpark pricing. The cost of the average is $253 for 4 people to attend a game, which is 4.5% over year increase, which is about correct since this has been reported since back to 1991.
Go ahead.
The biggest thing is who got hit the hardest with the price increase.
Probably the small markets.
You'd be very shocked who this is.
Who is it?
The Baltimore Orioles had a 29.4% increase over last year's.
Increase what?
Of between ticket prices, but not ticket pricing. It's the other stuff that made up where the total has gone up 29%. and you're talking about the team that's fighting for the number 1 pick for next year's draft,
right?
Because they're tied right now
so the
with
Orioles
the Diamondbacks.
The Orioles are in that dumpster juice Jerry's Familia conversation, and they're going to hike the prices up, so they're going to have even less fans.
So where they hiked the price up was the drink and hot dogs have gone up to make the average go up.
That's not good.
So they changed the cheapest beer now at Cameron Yards is now $10 for the 22 ounce. So they're pretty much their fuel is streamlined by the drink concessions having increased this year. For why they're only ranked 14th now of the price.
Wow.
At $245 for a group of 4.
You know what, man? I want you to remember a time when there was no fans in the stands at Camden Yards during a game. It's not because of ticket prices. I know, but man, that's not good.
I laugh when I'm like, they were the most increased. I'm like, this is hilarious.
I mean, and that's. I thought I saw somewhere where somebody, I don't know if it was MLB, but some sports team was talking about having cheaper ticket prices to make stands packed, and then get revenue some other way. I can't remember what it was. It sounded like a great idea to me, because if you're talking about an average family of 4, which is average, goes to a game and it costs about $300 roughly. That's not going to make them go to more than one game.
No.
But if you have tickets that are affordable, and you talk about like it costs $100 and something to bring these guys, they might go multiple times, or they're going to spend money while they're there, and you're going to get more money in the long run. So I just don't know. I get it, because last year nobody got to go to see a game except for if you paid for your what was it, your fat face or whatever your whatever your
cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, cardboard cutouts. If you paid for that to go in there, that was fine. But I don't know, man. What is your take on it? Like, what do you think about the price hike?
I understand. You lost. You're claiming. What is it? $3 billion is what they're claiming that they lost. Which I think they have a hearing this week, or they did, or they're going to this week, about the whole. What is it? The season being too short last year and stuff. So, only team they really couldn't put on the list, I think, was Toronto, since they have no games last year and they only had like half a season this year. But the cheapest ticket is the Rockies this year. They're at $213 for a family of 4.
Wow, man! Still, what's that? Is it 50 a piece?
So yeah, so I don't know. Well, the cheapest ticket, my bad. They increased the least. Cheapest ticket is the Diamondbacks. For a family of 4, it's $144.
That sounds reasonable.
Miami is the second lowest at $175. Tampa Bay Rays. Now this is the one that if you want to get your best bang for your buck, the third best price for a family of 4 is the Tampa Bay Rays at $180. You're talking about a team who just in the World Series last year, who's back in the thick of things this year.
Crushing it.
So, and they increased by 5% compared to last year. Then you have the Pirates, Angels, and then first one over 200 is the Padres, and then you increase back up.
Now, where are these tickets at? When they say average, what are they sitting at? Are we talking nosebleed? Are we talking like second row tier? Like where are we at, man? Like if it costs $50 a ticket to sit behind third base line or something like that, that sounds good. But if you're talking about when we got to take the escalator in National Stadium that keeps going higher to heaven, and then we think a pop-up is a home run because we've never sat there before, and you really do get dizzy because you are that high. I've never been that high up in this ever, man. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, because
first experience until going to a football game.
I couldn't believe it.
And you're higher. But so, all right. So the top 5 for a family of 4. Let's see if you can guess them.
Top 5?
Just I don't care what order. I just want to see if you get the top 5 that cost the most for 4 people to go to a game.
Cost the most?
Yes.
Okay. The Yankees.
Okay, that's one of them.
Red Sox.
Okay, that's 2.
The Mets.
Nope.
Ooh. Okay, so you said the Red Sox, the Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees. Yep.
Okay, hold on. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm just gonna pull up the standings, see what I think is crushing it right now. Okay, so we got Tampa Bay, Red Sox. I'm going to go Astros.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so I got 3.
Yep.
All right. So
I'll give you the hint for the other 2.
Are they in the National League?
They're both in the National League.
Okay.
And they're not doing well.
Oh, crap. Nationals. They got a whole new stadium. They got to get paid for, right?
One more.
Okay.
They just dumpster fired.
The Cubbies?
Yep.
Oh, man. The Cubs? Really?
So number 5 was the Nationals at $338 for a family of 4.
I believe it.
Yankees are $340. Astros are $347. Cubs are 365.
Why?
And then Boston Red Sox is 375.
That's nuts, man. I mean, I get it, especially for the Nationals, man, because the Nationals are already in an expensive market, and it's a brand new stadium. They got to pay
Mets
for it
were
somehow.
12th at 255.
Okay.
And at number 6 is the Dodgers. I was kind of surprised that was at number 6. I thought they were going to be top 10. And the Giants are right behind the Dodgers at 297.
Nice.
So it was just interesting that, you know, Orioles are down there. Then you think, yeah, Cleveland. Atlanta, that was like, wow, okay. Oakland, like, you know, but, you know, they're doing garbage. But you think, you know, I think Oakland is, what is it? I think I saw a number, was in this article, that their fan adherence. Okay, here we go. So the fan adherence, you know, it varies widely. The Dodgers led all the teams this year with average of 33,000 fans in a game. The bottom, the average per game, is the Miami Marlins at only averaging 7,800 fans a game.
Oof, that's tough.
So overall, the per average game is 18,000, which last season was 0. But 2 years ago, back in 2019, the average was 28,000 a game. So they lost 10,000 fans an average this season.
Man.
So 20 years ago, the MLB average for the family of 4 was 138, meaning the cost of the family of 4 has increased 84% in the last 20 years.
Man.
It's a little ridiculous. But when you're averaging $10 billion a year before COVID,
yeah, I get it.
40% of your total is from game day and concessions and stuff. So that's why they said the $3 billion was lost, because no one got 10 games. It's kind of insane when you look at it like that. Family of 4. A little dragonfly.
No, it's a praying mantis.
Oh, is it?
Look right there. Right next to your glasses.
Yeah, it is.
Praying mantis, guys. We're okay.
We're lucky.
All right, well, let's move on. All right, so the next thing, man, we're talking about records. And when you say records, you know, and you talk about this person, I wouldn't have put him in this category.
No, nowhere near.
So we have Salvador Perez. You know, he's a catcher.
We talked about him last week that he was in the top 3 to possibly hit home run lead.
And he set a home run record.
He did.
For catchers, primary catchers, he passed Johnny Bench for the most home runs in the season by a primary catcher with his 46 home run against the Royals.
Yep. He hit a 2-run home run in the 5th inning, topping Bench's total from 1970 for the most by a player played in 75% of the team's games at catcher. He said, it's unbelievable. I thank God for this, and it's amazing. You know, he moved into a tie for the home run lead with Vladimir Jr. and leads the majors with RBIs of 115, with the first catcher with that many RBIs since Mike Piazza back in 1999.
Right. When I heard that Salvador Perez set a home run record with 46, I was like, there's no way. I was like, Mike Piazza has to be in there. I was like, no, he only hit 40 one year and a lot of 30s. But back in the day, those were a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, man, you're right. That's pretty good. And what's crazy about this is that Salvador is getting older, and we saw him in the World Series a couple years ago with Kansas City.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, he's a great catcher, but I don't think of him as a hitter.
So this is the funny thing. Those 2 years were his best years yet.
Yeah.
His for this season, his best year for hitting home runs were those 2 years, same total at 27 home runs.
That's crazy. And think about this.
He's almost hit 20 more, because by golly, he's probably gonna hit at least one more.
Probably.
So he's at least gonna hit 20 more than his record.
And what's even more crazy is that has he been with the Royals his whole career?
I'm almost certain, yeah.
That home run put him at 198 home runs. Think about it. That's 46. That's almost a third of them. So, like you said, we don't think of many catchers as rakers, but now this just put him in a whole new category.
Yeah, and the biggest thing also for him at the All-Star break, you know, when he was at the home run derby, you didn't think of like, why is he in here?
Exactly, I did.
So
he
was trailing Ohtani, because Ohtani had the home run lead at the time, by 12 home runs. Well, he's made up that distance by homering 25 home runs since July 24th. He's just been cranking those things on. So the only person that did something like this is Jimmy Fox back in 1935. He won the home run title after trailing the leader by 12 dingers at the All-Star break. So if you know, this is what Perez said. This is why I got stacked about this. I've never hit 30 in my career. So I was looking at 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. That'd be a dream come true for me.
And it would for any catcher. Yeah, I mean, 100 RBIs is a lot in my opinion. 30 for a catcher, that's solid. So and at his age,
so he's been in the majors since 2011.
Yeah.
So you know, 31-year-old, you know, who's been
tied with Vladdy.
Yep.
Come on, man, that's great.
And when you see a Hall of Fame catcher, you try to be like him. You know, Perez said, "I'm going to try to be my best to be one of those guys." So, but unfortunately, there's some bad news with this.
Okay, what's the bad news?
So the one item he will not be adding to his collection is that home run ball.
Oh.
So the ball that he hit that broke the record, Cleveland fan who caught it has been refusing to give it up.
Yeah, that's his right.
So the second baseman of, the Royals, Whit Merrifield, went on the radio show, said a lot of guys were quite upset when they got in the locker room and they found out that he wasn't willing to give it up. The fan was offered a number of special conditions for the ball, but the fan believes that the ball will be worth a large amount of money. The Royals told him the ball needs to be authenticated to fetch that high price. The fan wouldn't budge. Just one of those guys would be difficult for a reason, Merrifield. We offered all kinds of things. Signs, jersey, bats, balls, cleats, gloves, throwing everything at him. The dude was being a total dick. I'm like,
well, it kind of reminds me of, what was it, the Bonds ball, man.
Oh, when he hit the record?
Yeah, was it the Bonds ball or was it McGuire? One of those big balls. I think it was Bonds, man. The dude was just like, I want everything. And I'm pretty sure he got paid pretty well for it, too. So I think that's what started all this, wasn't it?
No, I think the McGuire ball was
that the one?
He thought it was going to go for fetch, and then he kept it, and then after the steroid stuff came out, he never sold it. And when he went and sold it, barely got like $100,000.
Well, I don't know, man. I just know there was one of those balls where those big home runs like that, and a dude pretty much got paid for it.
I think,
but if you think about it, even if you can fetch $100,000 for this kind of thing, that's still worth more than probably what they were offering. But I think I would have probably budged at the right thing. I don't know, man. It's hard. I don't even think of this as a crazy ball that's going to be going for.
Unfortunately, it was on the road. Yeah, because you think it's just a record
for a catcher, which is like a blip.
Now, if this was the Royals, that fan would give, with all that offered, he would took all that.
Probably.
Now, being, I guess a Cleveland fan, he wants to get what he can because, their team's garbage, going to be garbage for a while. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. Like,
I don't know what you would do, man. I mean, if all the starters offered you all their jerseys off their back autographed, how do you turn that down? I don't think that was on the table. But what I'm saying is, I guess you know what, you and I think about these things different because we're collectors. I mean, it would be cool to have that ball in your collection, but at the same time, if you can get something cool from the team and it's the memory and all that goes with it, you can say, hey, you see these things? I caught the 46th home run, the record-setting ball, and the team offered me this, and it was cool, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, man. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I haven't had to be in there. I'd rather be in that situation than the
rookie.
No. Steve Bartman. I'd rather be in that situation than the Bartman situation.
Yeah.
No, the rookie one is pretty cool too.
Yeah,
I would obviously give Mookie Betts bud, we're doing this.
Yeah, I think literally I'd probably be like, look, this is a big ball.
It is. I mean, it is.
Could
for
be
Salvador.
It could be worth money. Yes, you're right.
If he makes it to the Hall, it could be cool addition.
Hall, and most likely that's probably what the ball would have went at first for a while.
Or Perez's personal collection. I don't know, man.
I was certain. I think I saw Perez was sending the cleats, maybe the bat and the jersey to the Hall.
Okay.
After this to kind of display it
just
and
for
stuff.
a record. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Because of the record.
Well, the ball would be cool there too.
The ball would probably be cool. Like he probably put lease there for a while. Then once he wants it back, to probably put it in his collection. Honestly, I would probably want almost all that used probably, because thinking like I could probably get a used bat. I don't want the bat because he ain't gonna give it the bat that he just hit it with. But I want a bat from that weekend series, the jersey.
I don't know, man. I mean, if I was making demands, so let's say if we were making demands, I would probably, I don't know, man.
I'd want a team signed ball, a
couple.
And I want a used bat from Perez, and probably a jersey.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a lot to take about. Give me the home plate from the game. I don't know. Man, I'm just saying, like
I wanted that could be done. Like I want one of the bases.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something that the memory from it
and everything authenticated.
Yeah, I want it authenticated. I wanted probably Perez to sign the base, and Scrive broke the home run record over the base.
Right, and you know that depending on how much they think the ball's worth to them, it doesn't seem unreasonable because they always want to take, but the fan also wants stuff too. So I get it, man.
It could possibly, for the right collector, you're thinking it could stretch about maybe $100,000. At least.
Right. So look, we don't know. Look, they could have said he's being a dick, this and that, but we don't know what his financial situation is. Maybe that means a lot more to him than whatever you guys are trying to offer him at the time. He could, like you
maybe
said,
the spur of the moment he didn't think of it. Maybe they come back to him like, here, look, contact me. I'll think about it. We can work something out.
Yeah. Yeah. Discuss it with the wife.
Like, what can we get? Like, you can put some feelers out there. If I auction this ball off, what roughly would go for? Do your math and figure, like, is it worth it? Or do you want to get some other stuff?
But think about it. whatever they were giving him, fine, cool, dandy. But he could probably fetch 30 grand for it off the street, and now that could do whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just worth more if it depends on what his situation is. I think I don't know, man. I really don't know what I would do.
It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard when you catch a moment like that. It's hard. Like, I'm thinking to myself, if I could go to one of these games and catch Pujols' most recent home run, good luck getting this out of my hands.
Yeah.
It's just tough, man, because it's like a walking legends kind of thing, man.
Like, yeah, like when you get one of those, like, those 600 balls and stuff like that, like, you're like, look, I want to meet this guy. I want stuff because this is going to be a moment I'm never forget.
Right.
Because you want this bad, and I want, because this is something special.
Right, because we don't get those kind of opportunities normally.
Like,
so.
you only hit, like, say, like, the 600 home run once.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, look, I have this. You want this. Let's make a deal.
Yeah.
Like, if you think it was home game, you talking about the player, like, I want season tickets. We're always probably like, okay, done. Like, what else you want?
God, yes.
Like, because it's on the road and it was a visiting play of the visiting team.
But I bet you could work it out. Oh, yeah, you're right. Visiting team, yeah.
It was at Cleveland.
If I lived in the market and that was blah blah blah, like, look, man, I want season tickets for life.
Like, let's work a deal out.
I want one of those MLB cards.
Oh, the gold cards go to every game?
Just give me that card. That is it. That's all I want. Give me that card, man, and maybe some autographs. But still, just that card alone would be
the
worth
gold card to get in any MLB game you want. Yeah.
Absolutely. Tell me that's not
that would
anything any ball you catch. I don't care what number it is. That would be worth it.
That would be
absolutely
worth it. For the rest of my life, I'll just show that gold card. Like, I'm getting in the game. Yeah.
That's when you know you're a beast. So when you get that card, is it just you, or can you bring people?
I think
with
it's you one more. It's two people.
You can bring two.
Yeah.
Totally worth it, man.
Yeah.
Give me 2 cards. I got a family.
Yeah, I want a player that player gold card that you played so much and you get to go to the game. Yeah, that's what I want. And I want some signed stuff. That would not.
I'm just saying that card would be worth
it.
If I catch whatever ball, I don't care. I don't care if it's 1,000 home run ball by Pujols. Give me the card. We're good, man. You don't got to say no more.
Right? Send the bill to the Salvador. He'll take care of it.
I wonder how much those cards would be worth, honestly.
It'd be interesting, like after like a player passed away, like something just to have in your collection, or just
I don't know. I mean, just like
just to have.
In general, how much you think it'd be worth if you had that card that you can get into any game with? How much is that worth? Is what I'm saying. Like, what do they figure that's worth to them? To the MLB or whatever. Like, is it $1 million card, or I mean, what is it worth?
That.
I'm just saying, because you can go to any game, anytime.
Yeah,
it's like the Marlins, man.
Yeah.
And what tickets do you get? I hope you get boxies.
I'm assuming lower level. I'm assuming.
I wouldn't care. I'd be at every stadium. Like, all right, we're road tripping all day.
Right? Especially after you retire and stuff. Like, yeah, this is what we're doing. This is the plan. I got my card. Let's hop in the RV. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah, I know none of you guys listening right now, but if you are, how do we get a card? Give us a card. That's all we want.
That's the thing. That's
pay us in that card.
I think it's any baseball dreams fan. Like,
about to get attacked, man.
You coming up with my stuff, man. You beefing?
All right, we got to move on, guys. I could talk about this all day. That card just got me excited.
It did. Not as excited that we're about to talk about with, what is it? Playoff baseball time.
Playoff baseball time, man.
So we talked about a little earlier, Tampa Bay Rays did punch their ticket today. Mathematically, they can make the playoffs no matter what. They'll be at least a wild card, but most likely they're up by 6.5 on the Red Sox with a week and a half left. They got the division almost unlocked. You think next week they'll lock it up for sure? 4 games they need to lock up the division.
Okay.
Most likely Red Sox are winning because they're up 10-1 on our Mets right now. So
yeah.
So don't worry about that. So White Sox, I think they're closest. Yes, they are 2 games away from Cleveland losing to, or at least, Cleveland lose and they win. Boom. Division's theirs.
Yep.
Bro. Getting closer. You want to talk? So in Houston, they are 4 games away from locking up over Oakland, which Oakland is now tied with Seattle at 82 and 69.
Okay.
Seattle, man.
Seattle, yeah. Who would have thought?
Man, and Seattle, they're still both in it. They're both 2.5 out of the wild card, technically.
You know why? It's because they got Ichiro on the team. Not officially, but, he's in there.
Then you get to the National League. Atlanta is up 3 games over the Phillies. They got 10 games to be elimination.
It could be a tight one.
Mets have 6 before they're eliminated because they're 7 back.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee has clinched a playoff spot that we figured they would.
Yep.
They only need technically 3 more games over the red hot Cardinals, which they are won 10 straight.
Yeah, man.
So we figured they would clinch last weekend because look, most likely you're thinking this weekend series, but nope, they both sailed through this weekend. But Milwaukee has lost 3, so And then San Francisco and Dodgers, we talked about last week, have both locked up a playoff spot. Dodgers are 1 game behind the Giants. So, and then technically, San Diego is eliminated from the division, but they are 5 games out of the wild card, and Dodgers are 15.5 up on the wild card. So we know one of them are hosting the wild card game.
Yep.
We just don't know who. And I believe the other team right now is Cardinals. So, and I think closest to that is the Reds are 4 games behind the wild card, then Philly at 4.5.
Okay.
So, really not much shaking up between. We kind of talked last week. Besides, St. Louis went on this 10-game winning streak and has plugged their way into that second wildcard spot. Because mostly since San Diego has fell, it's been mostly the Reds here lately.
Yeah.
But St. Louis, man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. Like, you can't count nobody out because it don't matter how you get to the playoffs. Once you get there, you just got to be the hottest team at that moment. And that brings me back to the Nationals, man. They weren't supposed to be in a conversation.
Yeah.
At the time they won.
Technically, they shouldn't have gone out of that wildcard game if it wasn't for Yelich not being injured and missing from right field.
Exactly.
Because he would have made that play, possibly would have stopped right there. But
so this makes me think the Cardinals could have a real shot at this.
So
man.
if you think about it,
who's hot?
Cardinals will either face Dodgers or Giants in that 1-game playoff.
And if you beat them, that's all the momentum you need.
And then you'll get whoever wins the division out of them two
in
the first series.
I'm just saying, man, if you get into a wild card and you beat that team, one of those 2 teams that you just mentioned,
and it sucks.
You got to have all the momentum, man.
It just sucks. Think about it. Like, you're going to have a 100-game winner in the wild card game.
That's tough. Yes.
Giants need 2, Dodgers need 3 to get to 100.
Yeah, man.
With what we're at, 12 games left.
It could happen.
It's going to happen.
It probably is.
It's unreal.
And then if you get beat by a team that's got 70-something wins or whatever, that's not great at all. That makes you, oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine being a 100-game winner losing to an 80-win team or 78-win team.
I think the worst is was it Seattle that one year they were had the best record. I think 114 and lost in the first round. I remember it was last time they were in the playoffs.
And that's like I said, when you're hot, it doesn't matter what the record is. Your team's clicking. That's all that counts. You gotta win these series.
So then you look at the AL. Tampa Bay has the number 1 seed, pretty much locked up almost. Well, Houston is only 4 behind, so that could be some closeness. But so if we sit right now, Tampa Bay would host the wild card winner, which as of right now, technically it is. Yankees must have flip-flopped. Yeah, it looks like Toronto must have just lost.
Okay.
Did Toronto lose? Yep, the Tampa Bay game. Toronto must have went final. So Toronto's now tied with Yankees, and the Yankees are now playing in Texas. So as of right now, it's Boston and Yankees of the wild card game.
Just like I said, man, isn't it crazy? Because that division is so great, so tough, man. Everybody in there deserves a spot except for the Orioles. They need to
go. They're fighting for the number one pick.
So they're trying to be number 1 at something.
Yeah. So right now Toronto and Yankees are tied at 85 and 67, and Boston is 87 and 65 as we record this. Boston has the 2 games up, so most likely, unless something happens, they'll host. Will they face which division rival? Their heated Yankees or their Blue Jays?
Doesn't matter, man. When you talk divisionals, rivalries,
1-game playoff.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, anybody can win that game.
If you think about it, you probably want to face Toronto instead of the Yankees because you're thinking about Garrett Cole will most likely be that playing game. Yeah. If you think about it.
Yeah, you got to bring it.
So, but then you have Toronto with a Ryu.
Yeah.
And then so it's like, ugh. So Boston.
Pick your poison.
And then Boston, who do you throw out? Chris Sale has been great since he's been back. Do you throw him out there?
You go with who's hot, man.
So it's going to be interesting. And then White Sox, 2 games out. So you figured either this series or this weekend, they'll lock up that division. I think most likely they'll be the first division winner. Yeah, because I think, Milwaukee's 3 out, so one of them will be the first. It's going to be a central team. We don't know if it's AL or NL.
and as last year is any indication, we don't care what central team goes because they're going to lose anyway.
We had 3 from each side. They all went out first round.
Bye-bye. Anyways, I don't think that'll happen this year, but I do like the AL East odds on anything.
So technically, both my World Series picks are still in it. I don't have faith in my NL one, but who knows? They've been wishy-washy in Atlanta. White Sox, I still have faith. We'll see what they can do in the playoffs, but man.
Like I said, just got to get hot, man.
Tampa Bay, for a team that I did not pick,
right.
losing your top 2 pitchers.
Yeah.
And then technically you're top 3 because the other one out with injury.
We thought they were crazy. We're like, oh, you guys won a World Series by mistake, and now you're just like, well, we're good with that.
Well, it doesn't help. Like their last part of the worst trade ever in Pittsburgh history made his debut the other day. So, when they sent Archer to Pittsburgh, they got, Austin Meadows.
Yep.
They got, wow, why am I drawing a name blank right now? The other pitcher who's technically hurt. Wow. I hate when I do this sometimes.
Yeah, write it down, man.
I do. But, and the third guy was a player to name later, which was a top pick for the Pirates. Made his debut this week. So,
okay.
And Archer's now technically back with the Rays, so it's kind of funny that all 4 of these players. But it just shows what the GM, old GM and stuff, had a lot of bad deals to say. But it's interesting. So, playoff baseball, man. So most likely next week we'll have hopefully a division winner officially. Mm-hmm. We'll definitely know. We can say RIP to the Mets season. It's pretty much there, like you said. It was 10-1 last time my phone went off.
Yeah,
I was recording
I
this.
think it's done, man. I just glanced.
Especially we got Milwaukee this weekend.
Yep.
After that we have Miami, but then it's Atlanta. Hopefully we can see Syndergaard throw a little bit. Maybe
That'd
DeGrom
nice.
just end the season. I think DeGrom might get some low-end Cy Young votes for his first half performance. We'll see. But, Scherzer's still doing his thing. that NL West is going to be very interesting come that last week of baseball, see how close it is. And like I said, it's unfortunate that a wild card winner is going to have 100 games.
That is crazy, man.
So that is it for this week. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch y'all next week. Peace.